Hi, welcome to the video for restoration floor 1. So this is your lying on the floor. We've got 5 movements. Now how this floor works is we start off with one movement for 30 seconds, then we add a movement that goes up to 60 seconds, we add a new movement that goes up to 90 seconds, once again a new movement up to 120 seconds, so 2 minutes at that point, and then finally your 5th movement takes it up to 150 seconds. So we add a movement each time. In between those times where we add the movement, you can just have a kind of stand up, a shake out, a couple of breaths, just to kind of take your time, watch the video obviously just to see the next movement coming in. So your first one is leg overs. This is simply laid on the floor on your back, swiping the leg over from one side to the other side. At any point in this whole flow, if you need aids, you need to use your hands to carry on the floor, then you can do, or if it just needs a little bit of an extra push somewhere, then you can do that. It doesn't have to be exactly the perfect floor. That's just what we're aiming for. At those points, I will try and indicate where you can use that little bit of help to get into the next position. So your first one is your leg over, like I said. So lying down on the back, arms out, taking the leg over, keeping as close to the floor as possible. So you'll continue those movements for 30 seconds. Now, as you're doing those movements, when the legs are going over, you'll feel the shoulders start to pull. That's when we take the arm over the head and reaching out as well. So you're trying to keep both your foot and your hand or your thumb as close to the floor as possible throughout the movement. But don't worry, if it needs to come up, then take it up. If that's the way to get it round to touch, then that's the way to get it round to touch. And over time, that will increase and become better as the movement progresses. In terms of your breathing on this, as you move, you're going to breathe out into the movement. Once you're in the movement, you can take a deep breath in, and then you can move again. So it's just about staying in control of that breath. Your next movement now is to roll it completely over into a spiral. So as you're in that reached out position, you're going to pull your leg back and your arm back, and then you're just going to roll over on to your front. So whilst you're on your front, you'll be once again in this position, and you'll take your leg over to the direction in which you are moving. Okay, so if I'm going to go off to my right, so sweeping my left leg over, I'm then going to take my right leg over to the left, what will be my face down left once I'm there. So I'll show you once again, it's the easiest way to see this. Like so, and that will once again repeat to the other side, and that will be 1 minute of work. So once again, with your breathing, just nice and controlled breathing, try to take a bit deep breath in, then breathe out on the movement, and then breathe in, then breathe out again for the movement, and carry that on. So if you feel like you're liking the position you're in, then you can take that extra breath in there, but try and keep the movement fluid as possible using your breathing to control that. Your next one now is once you're back onto your back facing up, we're going to look at the armadillo tuck. So this is to simply tuck your knees in. You're going to rock right in, so you're really hugging yourself in this position, but on the floor. So you're tucked. Apologies. So you're tucked right in, okay, and then you'll extend back out into the next floor. So once again, this is now 90 seconds of work. and so on, completing the movement again to the left hand side and back into that armadillo tub. So as you can see, really working on controlling that breathing in there and just working through that. So your next point of call is to take that armadillo into a bridge. So once you've tucked in, you're going to tuck in tight, then you're going to extend back out, you're going to place your feet on the floor and squeeze your butt to lift your hips off the floor. So once again, the full floor. And once again, we'll move off to the left hand side to do the exact same on that side. So we've got to leg overs, spirals, armadillo and bridge. You're now on 2 minutes for that bridge floor, so you'll be working through those for 2 minutes. You probably won't get much done in 2 minutes because the movements are so big and you're breathing control through that. It's just about opening the body up and finding those positions. We come to the last bit. It takes us to 150 seconds. So 2.5 minutes, and we add in a rotational crawl. So this is the most complex bit. Okay, the rest of it is very much kind of playing twister. This has now got some actual almost strength movement in there, so it's that kind of additional part. So if this bit gets too difficult, then don't worry too much. We can kind of simplify it back. At this point, once you've done the 5 straight through, you could run through those as many times as you want. So you could do your 2.5 minutes, shake off, and then do another 2.5 minutes, depending on the time that you've got to give for this and how your body's feeling at that point. So the full floor looks like this. I'm going to go off to the left hand side this time for the video's sake. So that's your full floor. So I'm going to break it down and bring you into that rotational crawl, that last piece, and some ways to get through it. So there's different ways. You could, as you saw right there, you hop up into that bridge, you roll yourself over onto your arm. You're going to bring that arm underneath because your hips are up in the air still. And that will put you into this press up position where you'll press up into that rotational crawl position, and then you'll pop the leg back under. What you could do is you don't have to ever pop up. You could stay on the floor for this. So you could do it as a roll over and then a roll back. Or you could do it all with your body up. So I'll show you the all staying on the floor. So I'm up into my bridge. I'm going to keep my hips up. I'm going to roll myself over, taking my left arm underneath my body. Hips go onto the floor. Leg comes over. I'm on that flat position, and then from there I can just lift my hips up again. Twist my hips. Arm comes under and back in. Doing it with the body completely up. After I've done my bridge, I'll put my bum down, lift up onto my hands, hips come up, then my left leg will go underneath my body, my right hand will come over, and then I'll swap that back through, like so. And that is your lying floor for restoration 1.